Good morning. No, good afternoon. I don't know when I'm going to post this. However, on today's Healthier You, we are going to talk about healthy meal planning. And these are some tips for older adults. These tips, quite frankly, can be used by anyone. I don't know why they always consider them older, only for older adults. Although some of those things may be more in respect to sugars and, fats, those kind of things, sodium levels. All right, let's get started with the medical disclaimer. Always check with your physician before starting any exercise dietary program. Information here is my personal research into different health topics and is not considered medical advice. All right. Eating healthfully and having an active lifestyle can support healthy living and aging. There are some resources that you can learn about different patterns of healthy eating and ways to eat and create nutritious meal plan. Sometimes I think we make meal planning really difficult. I know for me many times, because I'm alone, I don't want to have to sit and think about, well, what am I going to make? Nowadays, generally even frozen chicken breast, that's 2 servings for me. So now that I have looked at it in that manner, it makes it a little bit easier because I know I can plan it for another meal or to include it for lunch, and dinner or whatever, that kind of thing. But it's been a process in being alone, learning that on my own many times. Tips are always grateful for those. But I think, like I said, trying to figure out a healthy meal plan, sometimes we just overlook because we're like, maybe I'll just plan on this for this week. Maybe easier to write it down for us as we get older so we have a clue. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on that. All right, older adults have unique nutrition needs. There are some adjustments that go along with getting older and keeping and building a healthier eating pattern. So some of these tips to get the most out of foods and beverages while meeting your nutrition needs and reducing the risk of disease are to enjoy a variety of foods from each food group to help reduce the risk of developing diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease. And you want to choose foods with little to no sugar or even added sugar, saturated fats, and sodium. You want to make sure you get enough protein throughout the day to help maintain muscle. So some of those things that they tell you to do is try to add seafood, dairy, fortified soy products along with beans, peas, and lentils to your meats. And one of those things may be for you to learn how to cook different beans. I will tell you at our senior luncheon a couple weeks ago, there was a couple and they chose to bring what they call beans. Their beans had pinto beans, kidney beans, black beans, green beans. I think they had some different, maybe lima beans also in it. It also had a little bit of ground beef, and it had some small chunks of potato in it. It was absolutely delicious. And everybody kept calling it a soup. It wasn't really a soup. I mean, it had some broth in it because she does use chicken broth in it. But it's a great way. It would have been just a great meal on its own, by itself. She said sometimes she adds chicken to it, pork, she changes it up. But they find that that's a good meal for them. So look into different recipes like that. And when she was talking about beans, I thought it was just beans, black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, white northern beans, that kind of thing. And it was something totally different, but it was delicious. So, you may need to learn how to cook lentils. I've never found a lentil recipe that I liked that I thought enhanced lentils. Although we have a woman at our church, when we have potlucks, she brings a lentil dish that is delicious, but she won't share a recipe. So finding a recipe many times is what you need. All right, try foods fortified with vitamin B12, such as cereals, or if you have low vitamin B12, you may need supplement, and your doctor can order that for you. Add sliced or chopped fruits and vegetables to meals and snacks. Look for pre-cut varieties if slicing and chopping are a challenge for you. Many times they are. Reduce sodium intake by seasoning foods with herbs and citrus such as lemon juice, lime juice, oranges, grapefruits, even those kind of things. Drink plenty of water throughout the day to help stay hydrated and aid in the digestion of food and absorption of nutrients. And first of all, avoid the sugary drinks. They just aren't good for us, so we need to learn to do away with them. And I do think that sugar is an addiction. So I think it's possible to go with that. It can be hard for some people to follow through on smart food choices, so you may want to look out for some of the USDA tips for older people, and just put in, search Google, USDA's tips for older adults, common roadblocks, those kind of things. So the USDA has developed certain food patterns to help you understand different ways that you can eat healthy, and some of those things include eating a variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fat-free, low-dairy, seafood, poultry, and meat, as well as eggs, nuts, seeds, and soy products. And you can find at the USDA food patterns, you will find some sample menus to help you get started. Now, when you're looking at these sample menus, if you don't like salmon, trade that out for something else. I mean, I don't like salmon, but I often will choose trout in place of salmon. So, I do like trout. Or any of the other fishes you can think of. So, and if you don't like fish at all, trade it out with something else. Chicken, pork, veal, hamburger, steak, whatever, if you can afford it. One of the things they also suggest is that you consider looking at the healthy Mediterranean style eating pattern, which includes more fruits and vegetables and seafood, less dairy. There are a lot of people that don't realize their gut issues are related to dairy intolerance. And I'm not talking about those folks that have full-blown dairy intolerance. I'm talking about some of us that have mild dairy intolerances. So that's another topic for another day. There are such things as healthy vegetarian eating patterns. This has no meat, poultry, or seafood, but it does contain fat-free or low-fat dairy. Compared with some things, it also is going to have more soy products, eggs, beans and peas, nuts and seeds, and whole grains. That is very different than vegan. Vegan is probably one of the hardest in terms of getting what your body needs in the way of nutrients. And that has to do with your brain health. So if you are going vegan, do a lot of research in how to keep yourself brain healthy while on a vegan diet. Meal planning, plan in advance. That's the biggest thing that you can do. It'll keep the guesswork out of eating and help make sure that you're eating a variety of nutritious foods throughout the day. Now, I am going to say this when it comes, because I live alone, when it comes to like buying a head of lettuce, I do like to incorporate iceberg lettuce, and I know that it's one of the least nutrition. I don't care. It's also one of the cheaper ones, and that is budget friendly for me. So not only does it make salads, but I pull the outer larger leaves off and use them often in place of bread. And those are some options you could think about using or including salads. Find budget-friendly foods. This means that you may need to create a shopping list in advance that you can, laminate it. There are a lot of laminating tools that you don't need a laminator for, that you can slip the sheet into and seal it up and it laminates it for you. So you can take a grease pen or whatever, or a dry erase marker to make your list, that kind of thing. That will help keep you sticking to that budget. Also, check out some of the SNAP-friendly recipes. In fact, you might want to see if you could follow a SNAP diet, one of their thrifty budget plans. Keep calories in mind. You need to keep the amount that you actually need per day for you. Discuss your weight and fitness goals. Always do this with your healthcare providers before making big changes. And there are a lot of different guides that you can find about calorie goals and healthy food swaps. So start looking for those. Also check out the USDA's, they have a feature on their website called My Plate Kitchen. It is a resource to help you find healthy recipes to fit in your nutrition needs and create a shopping list that you can either print out or use on your phone. The My Plate tool creates a customized food plan for you based on your age, height, weight, and physical activity. And there are a lot of recipes. Need to change the batteries. Sorry about that, folks. Need to change the battery and then add a coughing fit. It's the allergies. When you're at the My Plate plan, you're also going to find a lot of dishes there some of the recipes and things. They have one that's called 20-Minute Chicken Creole. It uses chili sauce, cayenne pepper, can be cooked on the stove or with an electric skillet in just 20 minutes. 5-a-day salad. This is a nutrient-packed salad that uses 10 different vegetables, with each serving is equal to 5 cups of vegetables. That's a great way. Now, I don't know about this one just because I don't really care for cooked carrots, but it's worth a shot and trying. Apple carrot soup. Ginger and orange peel are the secret ingredients to this pork, apple, and carrot soup. Might be worth trying. They also have sample shopping lists. One of the things that they tell you about is a smoothie with spinach, fruit, and yogurt. Vegetable omelet with the whole grain toast. They have some recipes like avocado breakfast bruschetta, banana split oatmeal. I'm sorry, that sounds delicious. Eggs over kale and sweet potato grits. I don't know how you can make kale edible, but maybe you can. Some of the things they suggest, like for lunch, would be a chicken tomato avocado sandwich on whole grain bread, or quinoa with stir-fried vegetables, apple coleslaw, black bean and sweet potato quesadillas. That sounds good to me. Sanchico tuna salad. Have no clue what that is, but if you go to my plate, you'll be able to find that. Dinner, they suggest chicken breast, roasted vegetables, or roasted salmon, zucchini, sweet potato, whole wheat pasta, ground turkey, and tomato sauce. They have an Argentinian grilled steak with salsa criolla, Eve's tasty turkey tetrazzini, fish with spinach. Snacks would include things like baby carrots and hummus, celery with natural peanut butter, fruit and yogurt, banana cocoa yogurt pops. I don't know what that is, but I want to go see the recipe. So those are some things to consider. Chili popcorn. I gotta tell you, that's one of my favorites. It's using the chili seasoning and a little bit of salt and pepper sprinkled over air-popped popcorn or just popcorn. And of course, things like yummy bean dips. And of course, there are a lot of places that you can find a lot of these information about this. And the website that you want to go to for more information on healthy eating, which is the USDA MyPlate, is www.myplate.gov. And you're going to find a whole lot of services available there. And here is something else I'm going to tell you. If you are low income, poverty level, which many older people are, consider applying for SNAP benefits. Going to the food pantry or signing up for the food pantry and seeing if someone maybe can take you, like a neighbor or your child or whatever, to pick up these items. They do provide a senior box each month, and it does have quite a few different things in it, like some vegetables, a couple of boxes of cereal. I think it has juice in it. You get the, I think it's 2-pound block of cheese instead of the 5-pound block of government cheese. You get some other things that are in it, different meal items. I call them MREs. Those are made-ready meals that, and they're usually considered emergency meals that you could use. And they include a lot of those. Sometimes they include different fruits, those kind of things. But the main thing I would see is if you qualify for the SNAP program, which is food stamps, to see if they can help you in that area. The other thing is to look around, see if there are food pantries that are not based on income alone. There are many food pantries that do not. They're not supported just by government. So those are some things to look at. There are a lot of farmers in our area that many times will bring in items to the senior center after they've pulled from a market, or either they've pulled a bunch that they've sent off to market or to auction. In here, we have in a town close to us, Amish have an auction site is basically what it's called, but it's for grocers and those kind of things, different food companies to go and to look at produce that's available and to purchase it for their use in canning, putting it on the market shelves at your local grocery stores, those kind of things. And sometimes they have excess left over, and sometimes they bring them into senior centers. So check around and see. Not only that, but if you have a neighbor that grows zucchini, there's a lot of things you can do with zucchini year-round. You can freeze it and use it in a lot of your dishes. See if they'd be willing to share their garden with you. If you garden, you're a step ahead. So yeah, those are some things to consider. And you can always container garden. So that is it for today's video. Hope it helps you a little bit, gives you a little bit more information. Can send you to the myplate.gov where you can actually find a lot more information. Some sample recipes, some sample shopping lists, those kind of things, or create your own. All right, guys, that is it for today. I'll see you again soon. Try to do something kind for someone today.